world has been enveloped by the Shroud, a ruinous fog which sought only to spread and devour. However, as the last living flame bomb, yep, you heard that right, I was born in flame, it is my job, nay, my duty, to prevent this Shroud from consuming everything. But I can't do it alone. I'll need to venture out and recruit the last living craftspeople to help guide me on my journey. And hope they don't get sick of me or each other, especially in such small confines. Now, in order to ensure that doesn't happen, I'll need to build each of them their own dwelling. Ensure they have all the tools necessary to help me complete my quest. I'll need to defeat the Wisp Wyvern guarding the castle, and finally, remove as much of the Shroud from the lands as possible. Will I be able to achieve all of this within 100 days? Let's find out. And so it began like any other journey. Waking up, except this time we're inside of a giant pot. I'm not sure what the giant pot's about, but we'll take it. Nonetheless, we woke up and ended up in a vault of some kind, so we decided to do some exploration where we found a flame. You've slumbered for too long, Flameborn. The realm of Embervale has fallen, consumed by the Shroud. Now the enduring flame calls for you. Not sure what the flame altar's for, but we have to reach the plains as well. This looks very nice. Plains for the first base. So we have to go down there. We've got craftspeople down the side, so I'm assuming you get to recruit craftspeople. After taking a look at all of the journal stuff, I then decided to opt into the true survival experience. I feel like punching the tree is part of the experience. I then made my way into a cave and found a torch, which was going to help me massively considering for some reason it was nighttime at the moment. Inside the cave, I found a hidden room with a hatchet in a chest locked behind it, so that was very easy to get, and I wanted to test out the hatchet, so we just needed to find some enemies to do so. Alright, we've got a bad dude up here, let's kill him. Oh. Well, that was very easy. Box on target. There we go. Killed that guy as well, nice, okay. Looks like we've got a little bit of a village down here or something, by the looks of it. Long keep, yeah. Alright, this is cool. Alright, let's head over to the market. Whoa. Oh, they don't look friendly. They are giant rats. So after slaughtering the giant rats, I then found a bed where I could sleep for the night, and this actually sped up nighttime by 60%. So I was really happy about that because we could actually finally see what we were doing now that morning had come around, and I did look rather comfortable on that bed as well. Now that daytime had come around and reached the base location, it asked me to build a flame altar. For that, I needed 5 stone. However, I had no idea how I could get stone, so I decided to smack it with my sword. Thankfully, I then finished breaking up the stone, the giant rock, I guess you could call it, and got a bunch of stone, which then allowed me to build the flame altar. After placing the flame altar, I then had a spot for my base, and it told me to talk to the flame. Hey, everyone's got their own thing, right? I ain't one to judge. So after communing with the flame, it told me that there are other survivors that I had to go save in nearby ancient vaults. But before I needed to do that, I used my skill points to get the lumberjack perk, and I made myself a workbench so that I could actually craft some hopefully better gear, because I didn't really have anything going for me at the moment. I was just kind of bare butt nude. So I figured the workbench would be able to give us some extra items that we could craft. So we're going to head out. We're going to see if we can rescue this first person we're supposed to rescue. We're kind of going in there with no armor. We do have weapons. You can't without a grappling hook. Okay, seek a path through the Shroud instead. So do we have to go down? I'm a little scared, I ain't gonna lie. Alright, salvation lies straight ahead. So we're just gonna stay on the path and walk straight. And pray that we can get to where we need to go. On the path through the Shroud, we stumbled upon a skelly boy who was covered in blue mushrooms. So obviously we had to kill him. However, he did have a shield, so it made finding him a little bit more difficult. But we did manage to kill him and make our way through the Shroud to the other side. And we actually got a rough flintstone block and extra stuff at the workbench. So after finding the location of the survivor, it was defended by these dudes that I'm going to assume are bandits and bees or flies or some sort of stinging insect, and they absolutely kicked my ass. There was a prompt to try and sneak up on them, but I failed miserably at that and instead just made them even angrier, so that I had more opportunities to slice and dice me, and we got our first death. Upon returning, I managed to kill the first guy. However, the second guy was still alive, and I was still getting used to the combat, hence why I was crouching at the start of that fight. Just ignore that fact. Don't even pay any attention to it. So with this fight, I figured it was going to need to be a slow and very skillful fight. However, that didn't really pan out in my favor as I still took 2 hits, but I did manage to take the guy out in the process. Is he an enemy? I feel like he's an enemy, right? Oh, well, there goes the sense of surprise. What are you doing? Oh god. I thought that was an explosive barrel near him. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to blow it up. Okay. That guy wasn't as bad, but I mean, he was still pretty scary. All right, let's head in and see if we can rescue our first dude. Upon heading inside, it was guarded by another bandit guy. So obviously we had to kill this guy as well with his little dual sickles. Thankfully, we were able to kill him, and the guy was sleeping inside of a pot like our one. Let's free him. Oswald Anders the Blacksmith. Where is he? I also found a hidden room that contained a chest, but I had to lockpick the chest, and inside we found a metal star mace. Granted, it was only level 1, it was a two-handed weapon, so hopefully this was going to deal a lot more damage than what we currently had. It did look pretty badass though. On returning back to my flame altar, we summoned Oswald Anders the Blacksmith with his burnt arms. It's a pretty cool effect, I'm not going to lie. And he gave us our first couple of quests, crafting our first gear and cleansing fire. So we needed to make ourselves some gear, but before we did that, I decided to build myself a little shack. Because that is literally what it was in all its entirety. 4 walls and a ceiling, just so that I didn't get wet when it rained. Now, I did want to try and decorate this a little bit, so we had to provide a fireplace, obviously because of warmth was one of the requirements to get the well-rested buff. And then I also kind of just took a look at what else we could craft. I did make myself a table as well so that we could have that in there. It did give extra comfort, so it was kind of worth crafting up. And we also made a couple of chairs as well so that we could sit at said table. Now, with the fireplace, that would allow us to actually cook our meals, plus it would provide us with the well-rested buff, which would actually increase the amount of stamina that we had. And obviously, stamina is a very big part in this game, so I needed to make sure I had that buff active at all times. Upon placing everything down, we ended up coming in with a level 8 comfort level. I also made myself a spiked club, as well as 2 extra pieces of armor, the fur hood and the fur feet, just so that we could get some sort of protection on our naked ass, because these guys are absolutely murdering us and I needed some sort of clothing to protect myself from them. It was then time to head back into the shroud. I needed to find the Alexa well. Now, the Alexa wells were responsible for creating shroud in a certain area, and if we chopped down the Alexa well, we would be able to clear an area from some shroud. Now, I also got some shroud wood from cutting some trees down in the shroud, and I also got some shroud liquid from harvesting up some of the various resources located down here, giving me some new construction materials. I then also didn't realize that my bar was running extremely low and had to leave the shroud briefly. I did my best to try and get out there. I had 15 seconds left to go. Oh man, what have I done? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, that was close. Alrighty. Well, I don't want to try and figure out what happens when we stay in the shroud for too long, but I mean, that was kind of scary, not gonna lie. What the fuck was that? Oh my god. That was terrifying. I did eventually make it to the Alexa well, but I only had a minute and a half left on my enshrouded time. Thankfully, there was an hourglass above that we activated to get a couple extra minutes, and then I found the army of shrouded dudes. These guys were coming at me with a vengeance. I don't know what I had done to make them so upset, but they were pissed. They were, look at this. Like, what am I supposed to do against this? We had 3 guys up against me, and obviously me being the greenhorn that I am, got absolutely slaughtered by these guys in the process. And idiot me also did not even activate the respawn point that was located there. So I then decided to die again on the way back, trying to retrieve my gear. And then that's when I actually discovered that there was a respawn point just here. So I felt like a downright idiot, I can tell you that right now. And it was then time for round 2, me fighting all of the Scaly Boys and his friends. Thankfully, this time around, I managed to get them individually, so it made the fighting significantly easier in the process, and I didn't have to contend with 3 bastards trying to stab me at once. I then managed to find the Shroud Root and the Fell Thunderbolt. Sir, you are terrifying. How the frick am I going to kill this guy without dying? The answer is I'm not! That is the answer. I'm not going to kill this guy. I then tried returning back to my body to fight the Thunderbrute again, and well, things weren't looking very well for me. Cool, so I totally just killed the first boss and the thing without recording it. Wonderful. So, managed to kill him. Got a Misfortune Mace, got the Fell Thunderbrute head, got the Shroud Core, some runes. I'm very sorry. And now the Shroud's all gone. I forgot to hit record. I'm an idiot. Forgive me. So I then returned back to Oswald, and he had given me 2 new quests. Scaling the ancient tower, as well as creating a grappling hook so we could get around. So we went to work on getting those completed, starting off with the grappling hook first, and we also upgraded the flame altar to level 2, giving us a larger building area. I also made myself the glider, and I needed to get a few more bits of string in order to make up the grappling hook. And I also built Oswald a shack as well. We were very similar in terms of our shack. Our shack design was on point. It was literally just 4 walls and a roof. I then managed to find a wand as well and decided to give that a go against killing the guys, and it actually worked really effectively. I then also wanted to check if these barrels were actually explosive barrels. Oh shit. Alright, well that answers that question. They definitely do explode. We've got a chest down here. What do we got? Executioner's axe. I think that's even stronger than the one we have. Okay, we found a scavenger camp with a mine shaft. Looks like we got some unhappy dudes here. Oh, there's a wolf. I then managed to try and fight my way through these scavengers. It was a brutal battle. I still wasn't really 100% confident with the combat skills as of yet, but thankfully I kind of just bided my time and waited till they had an opening to attack. And hey, it worked pretty effectively. I then pulled out the wand to finish off the wolves and any other enemies that were left in the camp, as well as this final guy who got a mace to the head. I then wanted to continue exploring, as I was looking for a place to set up a base so that I could build a little township for all of my fellow survivors, and they could have their own individual houses. I then stumbled across Peaceful Acres. However, it turns out Peaceful Acres isn't as peaceful as I thought it was. Oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to have to run all the way back out here. That looks like a whole goddamn town down there. Bloody hell. Got a house here with a lockpick on it, so let's break into it, see what we got inside. I mean, this is a pretty cool place. Until I spotted the dead body. Then it kind of lost its appeal. I then found another camp full of scavengers, and there was a lot of them, so I decided to leg it out of there before I died. Thankfully, with the help of my glider and glitching into the wall, I kind of scaled it, and I was able to get away from these guys without them being able to get me. Which is a massive help in that part, because it means I'm not going to die. It was, however, time for me to finish what I started, so I made my way down there, killing them individually so that I didn't get overwhelmed, using a mixture of the wand as well as my melee weapons to try and kill these guys and prevent them from getting in close so they could let off their killer combo and absolutely mutilate me in the process. And thankfully, I did manage to explode this explosive barrel for once. This is the first time for everything, and I did it actually on purpose and killed that guy. I then returned back to base so I could drop off everything in my inventory, as I did run out of space. And then I actually found the first ancient spire of the Springlands. So we scaled that and completed the puzzles within to slowly make my way up to the summit of the tower. I then also discovered that there were spells in the Enshrouded universe, and that by using them with a staff, I could actually cast some pretty powerful things. All right, this looks like it's the top of the spire. So do we just activate the flame? Commune with the flame. So after communing with the flame and unlocking the fast travel point, I then returned back to my base to speak to Oswald, who had more quests for me. I also made up the rest of the fur armor that I could afford, so I had extra armor, and I made myself a scrappy axe as well as a scrappy pickaxe. I then fast traveled back to the tower so that I could actually leap off it and explore around it. I also found some flintstone veins that I decided to harvest up as well. And then I tried covering some distance between two chasms, and that backfired massively because I ended up in Deadly Shroud, and that is definitely not what you want when you're trying to scale across the map. Thankfully, I did manage to respawn, and I found a flame altar, which actually granted me a spark, and we were going to need these sparks in order to upgrade our individual flame area so that we could live in higher density shrouded areas. I then also went to try and find the hunter as well, as that was one of the new quests that Oswald had given us, and she also was living in a pot. I don't know what it is about these pots, but they seem to be very comfortable. Awakened survivor, dried fur drying rack. So we've just gotten the hunter. Cjthecheesedj the hunter. Alright, cool. Flint arrow plus 14 more. Can we see what we get? I then found myself a legendary chest, and it was the first legendary item that we had come across. Granted, it was only level 3 and it was a bow, so I was probably never going to use it. It was still pretty cool to find. Don't mind me just casually sleeping with a corpse.
Nothing to worry about here whatsoever. Thank you for the company, my friend. I appreciate it.
I then went ahead and explored some more areas of the map, and I found this really cool like mage tower out here in the distance. It was a really cool design sort of area that I was genuinely considering turning into my base. However, I decided against it. It was probably going to be too small. I then found another ancient spire, and obviously I had to claim this one as I needed the extra fast travel point. So I made my way into it, completed it, and made it to the top, and we successfully unlocked the Low Meadows fast travel point. I still needed to summon the hunter back at the base, so I headed back and did that, and then she gave us the quest to try and find some salt. As well as that, I then also had to try and find the Alchemist as well. I also took a look at what we could make at the hunter's location. There was quite a lot of stuff. I then made the charcoal kiln over at Oswald's station, as I figured we were going to need this to make metal. And then I found myself in a crypt looting the sarcophagus of a long deceased person for some bone blocks. Who doesn't want to add some spookiness to their base builds?
All right, we've come down to the Enshrouded part of the map because there's an elixir well just here. I think. There is the flame over there. Cool, we're going to activate that first before we decide to go down. And maybe this time you'll actually see us kill the boss instead of last time where we didn't kill the boss. Well, I mean, we killed him, just not for you guys to see. Because I'm a ding-dong and didn't press record. Maybe there isn't a boss. Looks like we just got a bunch of the dudes. I mean, they're getting all taken... Oh, they're all getting taken out with our spells. Well, fudge knuckles. And I just killed myself again. Fucking wonderful. After eating all my food, too. So after dying a couple of times, I finally managed to make it to the Shroud Heart, and I was able to cut that down and gain a skill point in the process. And then I just needed to try and escape from this goddamn cave. These bugs, however, are complete menaces, and I just did not stop dying. Literally back-to-back deaths, trying to retrieve my corpse. These bugs were just everywhere. I then managed to get the double jump skill, which was going to come in clutch really well because we could then obviously double jump. And then I found some salt deposits where I mined up some of these salts so that we could return back to the hunter for that mission. I then headed out to try and get to the Alchemist. Now, obviously, his location was defended by a bunch of scavengers. However, we didn't really have too many issues killing them. I didn't have that much health.
All right, here we go.
That much stamina,
got it.
I was able to find the Alchemist.
We just got the Alchemist. So we just got Shroud Core plus 20 more. I'll take it. So we really need to try and find our base spot that we're going to set up in because we're getting to that point where we're getting a lot of guys and we've got nowhere to store them. So I feel like we need to sort out our base spot pretty soon. Alrighty. Got the Alchemist placed. He's got a quest for us, Eternally Magical. Okay, and we can make potions now. We can make some fireballs and ice bolts. Grinding stones, bug dust. I then also made the forge at Oswald's spot because we were going to need to make some metal sheets now that we have the charcoal kiln up. I placed that as well as the drying rack that I made from the hunter as well inside their very basic shed. It was getting very cramped in here. I then also placed the grinding stone from the Alchemist as well. So, after placing all the new items in the base, I stumbled upon the ancient vault with the farmer within. So, obviously, I had to add the farmer to our ranks. We were going to need her. There wasn't really too much in her location, but we did manage to get her with ease and free her from her casket coffin pot thing. I don't know why everyone's inside of pots. I don't understand. Nonetheless, we continued exploring and managed to find Fenrig's farm. And inside Fenrig's house, we found a note saying that there were some wolves in a cave off to the north. So obviously, we had to go and investigate and see what these wolves were about. Once inside the cave, however, I did find some wolves, so I thankfully had my staff on hand with a bunch of fireballs, and thankfully the wolves were actually stuck in the wall, so I didn't really need to stress too much about them jumping on me and mauling me to death like they had the poor sod in front of us. Which was thankful. Like, there was tons of wolves in these caves, except one of them did manage to break free, but I still managed to kill it, and we got Fenrig's axe from the corpse located within here as well. I continued exploring as I was trying to find the nicest base spot where we could set up, and I did find this farm up here on a cliffside, so I was considering building up here. I then also found a flame shrine, which we needed to collect the sparks from so that we could strengthen our flame, so that's why I was out there looking for those. I then set up a little bit of a flame just outside that first farm that we had found
because I figured this would be a pretty decent spot. I had some ideas of what we could do to the area, and I also wanted to test out the rake because I heard that you could actually spread the soil around and alter the terrain, so I hadn't really had too much of a chance to mess around with it yet, so I figured now was the perfect time to do so. And I wanted to try and build a dirt path leading up to the house at the top of the hill, as well as like everything else going up there. I then returned back to the base and strengthened my flame altar, as we were going to need it to increase our shroud passage level, so that would reduce some of the shroud and we'd get to the harder to reach areas that was stronger shroud was present. And so I had a couple of quests that we needed to complete. The flame also wanted to speak to me, so it told us to find 2 ancient obelisks of the Springlands to learn about the locations. We also got a quest from Balthazar for another ancient vault to try and rescue another craftsperson. The more the merrier, right? I then spent some time creating some storage chests as I was really struggling with my storage, and I made a couple of these small storage boxes. Oh, how much nicer is that? Okay, let's head out to the Carpenter. I want to get the Carpenter and then we can go from there. I feel like we need the Carpenter in our life. Oh, I don't even have any freaking health. And I forgot my fireballs. Okay, we're fine. We got this. They're only level 7. 2 levels above us. You're last, but not least, mate. Come on. Get that cheeky backstab damage off him. Nice. Alright, we got some... Oh, Jesus. Kill this wolf too. Nice. Alright, so after killing the wolves, I was trying to find the ancient vault where the Carpenter was when I fell into the shroud, into the burning lava, and perished. Wonderful. On returning, I then tried to get my body bag back again, and, well, you can definitely assume that we totally did not fall into the edge once again. Thankfully, I was able to retrieve my body, and I continued my hunt for the ancient vault of the Carpenter, but not before dying multiple times trying to get to him. Eventually, however, I was able, after dying once again, to get past these guys, defeat them, and get into the actual area of the Carpenter's Vault, where we found a brand new enemy, a Sorcerer. Now, this guy was not pleasant whatsoever. Heat-seeking, air-wispy missile things that just tracked you for a long time. Thankfully, I was able to kill it relatively easily this time, actually. The second one, however, caused me troubles because I fell into a vat of lava. However, that wasn't the only time that happened. It happened again thanks to the bugs. The bugs were the absolute worst thing in this cave. Thankfully, I was able to take out the caster and I could continue deeper into the vault where we found the Carpenter. Finally in his pot. Kate Hawthorne, the Carpenter is now ours. Oh, we got a lot of stuff now. Alrighty. I mean, this place is already crowded, so let's just bring him in. Why not, right? Kate Hawthorne? Welcome to the party, mate. You can stand right there. Totally not running out of space here. Okay, so now we've got the kiln. We can make... Ooh, we can make a new glider. That's exciting. We've got beds, we've got tables, we've got fireplace, we've got chairs. So after taking a look at what the Carpenter offered us, I then went ahead and continued looking for a base spot, and I found this area here, the Harvest Homestead. So I placed my flame shrine down here and I upgraded the altar so that we had a larger area, and I traveled back to the Alchemist to create some more shroud cores so that I could upgrade my flame shrine once again. Now, I also made some stone blocks and some wood blocks. My plan going forward with this was to try and repair the Harvest Homestead. I also wanted to build a little area for a flame shrine, but in order to do that, I actually needed to build another one, demolish the old one, and then rebuild it. It was a big thing. You can see here I've got 2 overlapping because I did want to try and get it to reach the farm area down here at the bottom as well, as I was going to use this for a farming plot. Trying to get this to work, though, was a pain in the bottom. Alrighty guys, so we are going to set up here in this area. Now this is the Harvest Homestead. I did want to build my own base area, and that's still on the cards, but for now we just really need something to get going. And what we've currently got at the base just isn't really cutting it. We do have this spot out here as well that we found, but I'm not really the biggest fan of it. There's not too much out there that we can really use. So over here in the Harvest Homestead, we've got house for ourselves. We've got little shacks out here for whoever we want to put out in here. We've got
the inside of this house that we can go ahead and live in, and it's got pretty good comfort, obviously much better than our current comfort. So we can tidy this place up and get it all clean and tidy. I think there's a lot of good things that we can do in this area. So that's why we're going to get rid of the skeletons sitting there currently, and we're going to dismantle this guy as well.
And so the cleanup process began. I started by destroying all the rubble piles located around the base area. There were a lot of these, so I was hoping that we could get them done quickly. I then also tried fixing the floor in some of the houses, but I didn't have the correct building blocks, so it didn't actually line up, which was annoying. I went into the cellar starting to clear some of these stuff down there, as we were going to put one of our craftspeople down there. And then I ventured out to the shroud to try and collect some shroud wood so we could build some particular stuff. And then I also found another shroud root while I was out exploring, so obviously I had to go ahead and cut that down. There was a thunder brute down here as well, however, so we did have to try and kill him. I started attacking him from height, however, he managed to get his way up there, so...
Is he the only one? Or is there... Nope, there's a bunch of them. These beetle things I despise with every fiber of my being. Well, I gave him my best shot. I didn't know what was going on, couldn't see anything. That was not fun. I'm going to lose all my health and my stamina. I love that. It's so frustrating.
Eventually, I did manage to return back to the Thunder Brute, and I fired a couple of fireballs to soften him up and figured I would use my wand and then switch to my hatchet, which was currently broken, so there was no switching to that. So I was stuck with my wand and my staff to finish this guy off. However, I did have my shield, so I could still block some of his attacks. Thankfully, however, I was able to defeat the Thunder Brute on camera this time.
Foot, there we go, and he's dead. Alright, let's chop this bad boy down.
After chopping down the gloom root, I then made my way out of the cave, but died. Thankfully, I did cast a heal channel before I died, so I actually came back to life, which was something that I'd never encountered before.
Alrighty guys, we've just found one of the obelisks up here, so we're going to activate it and see what happens. Is this the obelisk here? I mean, there is a bunch of shroud mist there. Ancient obelisk. Unforeseen, humanity is ephemeral. Nothing but a brief moment in time, a breath long taken, the blink of an eye. So what did we unlock? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark? Alright, a bunch of question marks, I guess. Let's keep moving on. Alright, we found the Mistberry Catacombs. I'm not sure if this is where we need to go for the queen thing. I'm guessing it is.
After unlocking the door and making my way into the Mistberry Catacombs, there were 4 buttons that I had to find and press in order to unlock the door. So I'd found the first one, I managed to find the second one in the lower depths. The third location also granted us a chest with a masterful mace. I had to shoot one of them with an arrow and the other one with an arrow as well, and that unlocked all parts of the door. Inside of the chest, we found Pike Mead's Bulwark, completing the quest, the Queen's Tomb. I also travelled out to the Alchemist's Tower in order to get the Alchemist's Mortar.
Everyone's got something to say to me today. Probably helps that they've all got to keep each other so much company in this wonderful little area. I bet they all love it so much. Alright, so we're going to go get some sword tables. Okay, so we just got 7 quests from speaking to him. Test of skill. The table saw is up there.
So I had a bunch of new quests that I needed to go out and complete for all the various residents, and I wanted to get started on those ASAP. First up was the VUCA Brawler. Now this dude was an absolute beast, quite literally. He is huge and he dealt a lot of damage. He was also in a location where he had some healing guys, some healing bulkers as well. And you can see those guys behind us with the staff. So they would actually go out and heal him. Now this dude's hit range was absolutely massive. He had a big ass leap attack that did a ton of damage and it was super hard to actually dodge because it seemed for some reason to just hit you really easily. You can see there it copped us. I mean, I didn't really dodge it that well, but trust me, I practiced dodging this quite effectively because I died a lot. After dealing with the healer, I could then go back and try and deal with him.
Cool, that worked out wonderfully for me.
I was very clearly not in that hit range. That's kind of ridiculous. I'm dead here. Because I'm locked on, I'm rolling in circles. It's super fucking frustrating because we fucking lose everything. Can't even get my fucking body back.
Fucking Jesus, come on. Alright, we are getting the hell out of here. I ain't hanging around anymore. I'm sick of dying to this fucking thing.
So after dying multiple times to him, I decided to go ahead and die in other places due to fall damage. So I wasn't having the greatest of times. I then returned back to the Harvest Homestead to try and repair some of the structures located around here, as quite a few of them were dilapidated and you could place extra stuff over the top of them to fix it. I also placed the farmer out here next to the farming field. I was trying to move them out of the shack and into this new area. And I also started tilling the soil next to the farmer so that we could start growing some crops. I also got a quest from Scree the Hunter to try and track down her hand spindle as well, and we also unlocked some new recipes. I crafted up a seed bed so I could start creating my own plants and start growing them, and transferred some magic chests over to the new location as well. I also made myself the small backpack, which would upgrade the amount of things I could carry, and I went to the Alchemist and crafted some bug dust as well as some new armor for myself at level 8. Because I was going to need some super good protection at the moment, because I was just getting destroyed by absolutely everything. So I made the Rising Fighter gear with some metal sheets, and I transferred all my dudes out into the new Harvest Homestead location. I then also found the second ancient obelisk that we needed for the quest, and I started tracking down the hand spindle for Scree, which required me to retrace her steps, so I had to find this camp first. And then I had to go and get into this ruin location, I guess, as well. That was surrounded and filled with these bandit dudes. And there was... look at all the bombs coming down on me. There were so many of these guys out here. Thankfully, I was able to kill them all without actually dying. I know, it's a goddamn miracle that that occurred.
Scavenger Gorger Matron. That doesn't sound scary whatsoever. I'm going to try and take out all the little dudes first, and then we'll... go ahead and see if we can find that Gorger Matron. I'm not looking forward to it though, to be completely honest with you. Oh god, she's a big lady. Well, I guess we don't really have too much of an option, do we? Let's go and fight her. Hopefully she's not as scary as she looks. Oh yeah, she's definitely as scary. Whoa! I mean, she's not as strong as that other dude we were fighting. She throws poison vials at us. Oh god. She's vomiting up shit at us. Whoa! That was my entire health bar. What the fuck just happened to it? Just gonna sit here. Just wait it out a sec. Just give us a little second. She's luckily not too tanky. Improved grappling hook at the Carpenter. Alright, cool. Metal scraps, scavenger matron head. Oh, ring of endless life. Cool, we'll take that. I think we might equip that ring too. Oh look, there was explosives up here we could use to kill her. That would have made things a lot easier. I should have done that. I then stumbled upon a Volker camp as well, and thankfully there was an explosive barrel right in the center of this encampment. So I was trying to explode it. Thankfully it did get exploded, and the Volkers did take quite a lot of damage, almost killing 2 of them. However, there are a lot more than 2 of them in this encampment. So I got to work at clearing the rest of them out. Thankfully though, these guys were like super easy to parry for some reason. I don't know what it was. I think they just had a really big parry block, but they did have a healer nearby as well. So obviously I had to go deal with him first because he's just going to heal those other dudes straight up. I did manage to kill them all, and we also found our first legendary root staff weapon, which was really good. I also found the forest area after making my way through the Volker cave passage that we defeated those Volkers at, and we had found our new biome. I really like this new biome. Oh, we got flax as well now. Not sure what we need it for, but we have flax. Is this copper? Lump of clay. Okay, we're getting clay here. Alright, and this is the hunter's test of skill. So I'm not sure what we have to do here. But we found it. Oh, what are these dudes? Look at those guys. They look cool.
So after activating the obelisk, we completed the hunter's test of skill quest, and we also unlocked some new question mark locations that we had to go explore and discover.
Okay, so this is Thornhold. Oh damn, this place looks cool. I don't know if there's any bad dudes here. I would imagine there is, but we're going to try and find the Carpenter's work. What the fuck was that? Oh, we got wolves in here. Just going to close that door. Okay, that dude is scary. We're gonna run. We're just gonna get out of here. Thankfully, it's telling us to go this way. We will come back and explore Thornhold when we are a stronger level, because I think these guys are like level 11s. Oh my god, these dudes are aggressive. That was a lot of damage. I just got my ass fucking backhanded to me. Holy smokes, they are strong.
Eventually, I did manage to make my way up into the camp where the circular saw blades were kept in the scavenger camp. And I did a little bit of sneaky to try and make my way to it, because there was no way I was going to be able to deal with these guys. Thankfully, I did spot the blades just over here, so I managed to get over to them and grab them before making my great escape.
You got the saw blades. Is that a tower in the distance, or is that me just tripping balls? That is me tripping balls. Oh, that's a big mama thing. I don't want to fight you. I also don't want to lose my stuff. I don't know what's going on. I want to get out of here. Okay. Woo! We're fast traveling. Probably not my smartest idea, but I needed to get out of there. I was going to die. It was nighttime. I couldn't see squat.
After returning back to my base, I then went ahead and made up the table saw as well as a clay furnace for the carpenter who we had stored inside the main house. I then ventured out back into the forest sort of biome and explored that a little bit more before dying to Deadly Shroud by accident, of course. I totally didn't intend to glide into that. Thankfully, my body was on the cliff's edge, so I was able to regain all my gear. But I was trying to find the Revelwood tower so that I could fast travel to this area. Thankfully, I did find a bridge that actually went through the Deadly Shroud. It was just guarded by a couple of bandits. So obviously, I had to kill these guys first before I could cross the bridge. And thankfully, this was going to be safer than crossing through the Deadly Shroud. However, these guys were a bit of a challenge as they were still level 13, so they were quite a higher level than us. And we did die to the wolves. Thankfully, I did return and I managed to cross the Revelwood Bridge. I did spend some time looking for Oswald Anders' chest, and I also found this cave that had glowy stuff in it. So I mined it up and got that block as well. Got some copper ore that I had mined as well, and spotted these weird mushroom dudes that I didn't really spend too much time interacting with because I was scared they were going to kill me. Then I figured they were non-hostile, so I tried attacking them, but they were just way too quick and they got away from me, so I didn't bother doing that. I couldn't find Oswald Anders' chest, but I did manage to find the Revelwood tower, so I made my way up to the spire of it, unlocking the fast travel point in the process as well. I then found my way into Diadwin, which was another village that was pretty close to the tower, and I just wanted to get these half-timbered blocks that were located here, so we grabbed those because they look really cool to build with, and then we got out of there. But not before attacking the boars and finding Oswald Anders' chest in a location not too far from Diadwin, which was actually pretty good, granting us a forest longbow. I wasn't interested in that. I then eventually found the cave where the hand spindle was located in as well. The only issue was it was guarded by a bunch of spiders. So we just had to get past the numerous amounts of spiders that were in this cave. I also wanted to make some space in my inventory because if I went in there to try and pick it up and I was getting swarmed by enemies, I totally wouldn't have enough space to go ahead and get it.
We're just going to beeline it. I don't want to deal with these spiders. I'm going to have to come back in the cave, god damn it.
I did manage to retrieve my body and all my gear, and then I made my way back to our township. I then got a quest from Oswald talking about Pikemead's wisps, so we had to go out to the capital to find what was going on out there. I also got my first harvest and started planting some new plants as well, because we were going to need this stuff. Emily also had an extra quest for us as well, where she wanted some berries. I don't know what she wanted berries for. I also made some wooden planks and unlocked a bunch of new recipes as well at Oswald's spot too, because I needed planks to make the half-timbered blocks as well. So I also got the refined wood block as well, which I was really happy about. I spent some time mining up some flintstone for a little bit of XP, as mining a flintstone would give you 7 XP per flintstone that you would mine. However, it wasn't really giving me that much XP, so I kind of gave up on it and just decided to leave. I then spent some time gathering up some resources. I needed a butt ton of wood, so I started grabbing some wood logs. I also needed a crap ton of resin too. So I essentially went back to the starting area and just nuked all the trees that were there. It was a slow process though with the axe. However, I mean, it was still pretty decent and I managed to gather quite a few logs and resources while I was out here. I just kind of went on a spree of chopping down trees. I'm an environmental killer, I apologize. And stone as well. Stone doesn't really grow back, but yeah. I spent some time cooking some food as well, as I was going to need that to venture out. Planted some more plants in my little garden that I had, and some of the other plants were also ready to harvest, so I grabbed those. I then found another Shroud Root location with a flame shrine, so I made my way down there, and once again I was met by another fell Thunderbrute. Thankfully, however, he hadn't noticed me yet, so I actually went ahead and just chopped down the Shroud Root to try and get rid of the Shroud so I could actually see what was going on. And that worked rather effectively. I then went ahead and tried to fight the Thunderbrute to try and kill him off.
Well, that went swell. Get out of here. Fuck. Fuck me. That range is ridiculous. Alright, here we go. Oh, I fucking jinxed it, didn't I? I just had to jinx it, didn't I? Okay, we're out. Fucking Jesus Christ. Oh man, that was too close for comfort. Oh, we got some hardwood. We haven't gotten hardwood before.
I also ventured out to another flame shrine, grabbing some sparks while I was out there as well so we could upgrade our flame. And I also picked up a copper bar that was sitting on the bench, unlocking a bunch of new recipes. I needed to retrieve a crucible as well for the blacksmith, so I was assuming that once I retrieved that crucible, I would then gain access to making copper bars and everything like that. I had just received the recipes a little bit early because I'd managed to obtain a copper bar before that. I then also destroyed some of these shroud thistles in the shroud because I needed the shroud sack in order to make the bigger bag. I then discovered the area called Lone Thistle. So I started killing all of the dudes located out here. There were a lot of these guys out here. A little settlement that had been exposed to the shroud and consumed all the dudes inside of it. You can see just how many guys we were killing here. I then also encountered a new type of enemy that we hadn't really faced before, and this dude was scary. He had a big old shield, he had a big old cleaver as well in hand, and I wasn't ready to really deal with him. I had to deal with all his little minions and his subjects first before I actually got a chance to actually fight him yet. On returning, I did manage to finish him off as well, and then I continued exploring Lone Thistle. I noticed that there was a little square underneath this grave, so I went ahead and blew up the graves to take a look at what was with them. First one had a corpse, nothing special. Second one, however, had a sword that was called the Cjthecheesedj stuck within it, dealing 26 damage, which was actually stronger than our other weapons. So we decided to venture out to another elixir well and give Cjthecheesedj a go. And this sword was really strong. However, the bugs were much stronger, especially when there's 6 of them attacking me simultaneously. Honestly, they're the fucking worst things ever in this game. They're fucking everywhere, and there's so many of them. They're the fucking worst, I swear to God. Look at all the fuckers. Look at them all. That is a lot of bad dudes. And pop some chain lightnings down. Hopefully that helps deal with some of the dudes. I'm also just going to run because there's a lot of guys coming towards us and I do not appreciate that. And we are running out of mana. Unless these are all the boss fights and we actually don't have a boss fight because there's so many enemies, which I will be thankful for. Except for these fucking bugs. I tell you what, these bugs can go to hell. Alright, no boss fight for this one. We just had to deal with all those dudes and we got down the Shroud route finally. Let's go. Oh, how much nicer is it now? Whew. I returned back to my homestead and started gathering up flax. I was going to need a bunch of flax as I need flax to turn into linen, which is pretty much needed for all armor stuff, as well as the next tier of resources. Made myself the advanced glider, and I also upgraded Hail Scourge to deal even more damage. This thing was going to be a real weapon.
It actually feels so much faster too, compared to our old one.
With my new glider and weapon in tow, I then wanted to try and track down the crucible, as I was going to need it to craft all my bronze bars. So I managed to find the encampment that was leading us to the location of the crucible. I had to clear out all the bandits in there. I also found a new staff as well, a level 13 one as well. I did continue clearing out the bandits located in this camp through a variety of means, mainly my staff and my sword with chain lightning. The sword was just dealing so much damage, I just could not use it, could not stop using it. Eventually I found a cave passage leading to a new area. No idea where the crucible was, I still hadn't found it at this point.
I'm really hoping this takes us to the forge, right? Oh, not these guys. And there's an archer nearby as well. And I am trapped in a corner. In a cave that I cannot see in. Cool. Oh, well, the forge was here all along. I just missed it completely because I'm an idiot. It was just a path. I swear I scouted through the entire camp, but nope. There was definitely a path that I missed, which is where the forge is. Alright, here we go. Crucible is now ours. Thank God for that. So now we can get into copper stuff. There we go. Smelter +1 more at the blacksmith. We'll need to head back there and eventually do that, but I want to figure out where that cave tunnel takes us through, because I can always put a fast travel point once we get through that side. Alright, here we go. Nice. Alright, that's the archer taken out. I don't know where this guy's going. Oh, that's my beacon. I was like, what's this light coming from? It wasn't this bright in here before. Oh, that was close. Oh, we were running out of stamina. I had to play it dangerously like that. I wonder if you can get their weapons. Their weapons look really cool. I'm just going to walk through with our shield up now. This looks like the way to go. Okay. Yep, so this is taking us through to the other side now. But we are enshrouded. So we should, yeah, we're out here. Okay, let's just make our way through the shroud. Hopefully we can get to the flame sanctum and we'll be safe over there, because I have not much health left. Come on, come on, come on. Fuck me, Dad. Are you kidding me? That's so fucking frustrating. I was so close to bloody flame sanctum too. Look at that. Look how close I was. I would have been able to respawn here. I was so close to the damn thing. Cool. Now we can come back here in a jiffy. I then stumbled upon the Bramble Spine Boneyard, which I spent some time clearing out. I did have a lockpick in order to unlock this gate, and this place was enshrouded as well, so I was going to need to be relatively quickly. These guys in here were also level 15, and I got my butt cheeks clapped by them. Thankfully, I did return and take them on one at a time, so it made it a little bit easier. But, man, these guys were tough still, nonetheless. I saw that cheeky barrel back there. Trying to get me with it. It was close. I almost fell for it. Almost. Oh, Jesus. I love it when that happens. When you die, but because I triggered some health healing, it brings me back. It's so good. As I journeyed deeper, I found the spellcaster minion, and that managed to kill me. However, I returned, and thankfully its health hadn't regenerated, so I finished off the job as well as the minions that it had floating around the area. This dude, however, had a really big shield, and he had like the scary armor and the sword that the other strong dudes have had. However, his shield was massive. So I spent my time just trying to defeat him, parrying him where I could, trying to dodge his attacks, and thankfully I was able to defeat him, and I actually got his weapon, the sharpened broadsword, as well. It was a really cool looking blade, however Hail Scourge was stronger, and I accidentally blew myself up with an explosive barrel. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, we got a Thunderbrute boss here. Ah, that's so fun. Okay, we found the block. Our whole purpose for coming down here, the weathered stone block, we got it. Now we can make it. Wonderful. Bro, nobody asked you to join this fight. Go away. Look at the damage difference between this sword and my other sword. Massive. Nice. Got him. And we got a level up. Oh, this looks very fancy. Flail. A stout flail that swings from dusk till dawn. 48 damage. That seems very powerful. It's obviously going to be one-handed. 48 damage though. Shits on what we've currently got. Alright, here we go. Boom. Smelter is now made. Where is it? We can place that down there. Oh. Let's see what we can make. So I'm guessing we're going to need, yeah, copper bars, which is, ooh, charcoal and copper ore. So we do need quite a lot of charcoal. I then spent some time mining up some copper ore with my crappy pickaxe. I wanted to get enough so that I could just make the copper pickaxe and the copper hatchet first, and then we could go out and actually spend a bit more time gathering up that copper ore with our new improved tools. So with that, I made the copper pickaxe just like that, and I went ahead and started mining up a bunch more copper ore. And there was a huge difference in between using this tool and the last tool, and I was really happy with it. Alright, I'm hoping we need copper for other stuff, because we now have a bunch of copper ore that we've just spent a whole day mining. So, and we got limestone as well. I don't know, limestone doesn't seem to do anything. I then came to the realization that I wasn't really too happy with how everything was progressing in terms of the base. I did really want to build our dudes their own little dwelling as well, so I ventured out to try and discover where we could build and a new location for us to set up. I also discovered this locked gate over here in the corner that I had no idea what it was. I was trying to get into it, but figured it was something to do with another update later on in the game's thingy, and I think it actually opens up for us a little bit later in this video. I then found Glenwood's End. Now, I'm pretty sure I needed to come here for a couple of quests, but I mainly just wanted to scope this out. This town was huge. There were so many bad dudes in here as well, and they were pretty strong as well at level 15. Meanwhile, we were only level 12. I did manage to get a sneak attack off on this unsuspecting victim as well, and it was super satisfying pulling that off. So I eventually came across the boss of the area, which was a scavenger gorger matron. However, I could not find her for the life of me. I had no idea where she was, but we were getting her health bar popping up on the screen. Eventually, however, I did find her, and I didn't really want to face her down here on this ground level because I knew she was just going to absolutely obliterate me, especially considering the fact she had a bunch of minions alongside of her. So I set out for Operation Cheese This. So we went ahead and tried to get to the second floor of her location so that we could easily whittle her down with magic, and the operation was a huge success. We did manage to find our way into the rafters of the building of where she was located and slowly make my way down to the second floor where she wouldn't be able to hit us, but we would be able to hit her. As well as that, the archers that were present wouldn't be able to hit us either. So thankfully we had found the perfect vantage point, so I may have slightly cheesed this fight and defeated the Gorger Matron by doing this. I regret nothing. I then went ahead and finished off the archer dudes that were located within here as well, and I looted the Gorger Matron as well for all her gear, as well as her trophy. Where we can start building our village now. It is over the top of another town, but I am going to be pretty much raising all of this. You can see I've already started destroying everything. Now the reason why I chose this location is because I wanted somewhere in the Revelwood. I really like this location as a whole, just like the trees and everything. It makes it look really nice compared to like the first sort of starting area. I'm a big fan of Revelwood. I did take a look all around for a very long time trying to figure out if there was anywhere that I really liked. Nowhere was sort of nice and laid out like Dydwin was, so I've decided to just settle in here and then we'll build everything ourselves. I've gone ahead and started destroying everything. You can see all this corner over here used to be flower beds and stuff like that, and I've gone ahead and destroyed that. So what I'm currently doing at the moment is I'm just trying to fill in some gaps and stuff like that. So you can see here at the moment there's like muck and shit that we don't really want.
over here, so I'm just filling it in. It's going to be level-ish once I grab the rake and we start pulling this over. No, I don't want the stone though. I want the green. Hopefully that makes it green. I don't know why the stone is still stone. Maybe I have to change it into dirt possibility, because you can see here I want this green to sort of continue throughout the entire area, which is one of the reasons why we chose the revel wood for. So it's good that we can dismantle stuff while we're raking. Yeah, so this is probably going to take us quite a few days to get everything set up. It is currently set, the flame is only level 1. So we can upgrade it to level 2 and that'll give us more building room. Which I do want to do, but because you can see here we can't reach everything. We do have Shroud nearby us, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I can come in here and chop these trees down, get the free Shroud wood, let it respawn, that sort of stuff. But yeah, we're going to be tearing down all these ruins and everything like that, and just starting from scratch. So I think it'll be pretty good. I'm hoping it turns out nice. I'm probably going to spend way too much time doing this, though, to be completely honest. Oh shit, there's rats here. So this is probably going to take us a little bit of time to do so. So I probably will cut out most of me building everything. Oh, there's a well. I didn't realize there was a well here as well. Yeah, I'll probably cut out most of me building everything, and we'll just probably do snippets of it so you guys can see, because it's going to be a hell of a long process. This is probably where most of our time is going to go, to be honest, going forward.
So the next few days were spent building up some of the houses around the area that we were going to build. So first off, we went with the Blacksmith's house. Now, I did get some inspiration from a fellow YouTuber as well by the name of Zero Stir. So he did inspire a couple of these builds, and I changed them up a little bit to try and fit my aesthetic a little bit more. But he definitely got the creative juices flowing, that's for sure. So I wanted to build a staircase leading up to the second floor of the blacksmith's house, and that was obviously going to be where he resides. But eventually I did finish the basic shell of the blacksmith's house, so I was pretty happy with how it was looking. You can see inside of here we were getting attacked by wild boars in our area, which was super annoying, and they also killed us, which is even more annoying because that definitely shouldn't have happened. I then went ahead and put the roofs on the blacksmith's house as well, going for the brick look. I did like the bricks a little bit more, and it was just going to take a little bit of time.
Alrighty guys, and this is going to be our blacksmith's house. So we'll probably have most of the forging equipment stuff out here on this area. You can see I've missed a little bit just here. Alrighty guys, and here we are done with our blacksmith's house. So Oswald has his own little area. Here you can see we've got all the forging stuff. I'm assuming we'll be getting more forged stuff later as the story progresses. But he now has his own little house to call his. I don't know what's going on with this weird step here in front of us. There's a weird texture. But we'll come inside. You can see here we've got it furnished out with a table and chairs. Although I'm noticing the bowls are slightly hanging off the edge. That's fine. It looks alright. We've got a comfort level of 26 here. So we haven't obviously built our main base yet. Our main house. But we're going to be chilling in Oswald's place for quite a bit of time, to be honest. At level 26 comfort level is really good. We've got the fireplace down here with some bones in front of it. Yep, don't ask. Oswald likes to dabble in some very questionable practices. Upstairs, we've got the windows. We've got a bathroom kind of sectioned off with this bookcase. We could probably add some more lighting to it, to be honest, but I like the candle mood lighting in here. And then as we come across here, we have the bed as well. Now, this is quite a bit of empty space up here. I can chuck some crates and some barrels and stuff in here, but I kind of like it. I feel like we don't really need to add too much more to it, and I'm really happy with how this has turned out. And this is what it looks like at night time. Plenty of light to light it up, which I think looks really cool. We could probably chuck maybe another light under here for a good old Aussie so we can work during the night time. We're not a slave driver though, so he doesn't have to, obviously. But yeah, I think the candles add some nice mood lighting, especially to the bathroom. You know, if he's taking a dump in the middle of the night, he's got a candle so he can see his dump. It's looking good. I like it.
I then got to work on the farmer's house, building the foundations, and then going ahead and building the roof. Now, I had a really cool idea where I was going to build the roof out of the flower soil. So essentially the roof would be made out of what you can see here, soil, and it would be all covered in flowers and everything like that. I figured it was a really cool idea. I wanted to do multi-layers, however, in like tier systems. However, I just could not get the soil to work the way I wanted it to and look the way I wanted it to. It just ended up looking really ugly the way I had done it. So I ended up scrapping most of it and just using the normal roof. I was going to try and go for like a half-half. So have the centered or flower soil and then the rest of that, but it just didn't work. So I ended up with this build instead. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. There were a couple of things that I was trying to do to it that didn't really pan out how I wanted to. I then got to work on building the crop plots where I was going to plant all the plants. Alrighty guys, so we've now outfitted the farmer's house with a bunch of stuff, extra furniture. So we've got this table here. Now obviously we still haven't unlocked the thing that we need to go get the kettle for. The fireplace, so one of those will go in here as well, probably along this wall here to be honest. At the back we've got a fireplace, we're going to have some chests in the corner here as well. Upstairs we've got the room for some basic stuff, nothing really super fancy up here, just some extra storage. And then if we come outside we're going to have this area with these seed beds. And I'm probably thinking we make one for each type of seed. So that'll go across this whole length. I'm not too sure what we'll use this area for just yet, but I kind of like it like that. And then out here as well, we're going to have some more farm beds. So we've got some chamomile growing at the moment. I'm not too sure what we're going to put in the other ones just yet, but we're also going to have some of these possibly on this side as well, and then some on the back as well. And that should be enough farmland for all of us. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, but we've still got a lot more building left to do. So after building the two buildings, I then decided to go and get into some combat, and I started off with the Shroud route that I found nearby. Now this was guarded by two Thunderbolts. It's not the best combo that you could imagine. These guys were tough individually, but together they were even tougher. Thankfully, I was able to dispatch of one of them pretty quickly without them actually even touching me, which I was thoroughly impressed with, to be completely honest. I wasn't expecting that. I also managed to loot it before I got hit as well. And then the other one also fell very quickly as well. My new weapon was really strong, Halo Scourge. It was doing a lot of damage, and I was really happy with how it was performing. Much smoother than I was anticipating, to be completely honest. Alright, let's chop this tree down and get the hell out of here. Alrighty, so we found the town. I don't know if there's a fast travel point here, but I kind of don't want to jump down there because I just spent way too long trying to climb this mountain, trying to figure out where the hell to go. So I don't know whether or not we just dive down there and see what happens. That does look like Deadly Shroud there. Surely there'd be a fast travel point in there, right? I don't have the ability to place any more flame altars, so I'm hoping if I go down there. Oh, here we go. We've got a Thunderbrute already. I managed to defeat the Thunderbrute relatively easy. I didn't really die or anything bad happened, so I made my way further into the town and found a Flame Sanctum where I was able to retrieve the kettle for Emily as well, so we could now increase our repertoire of craft stuff. I also found the Guard of the North gloves as well. Apparently there's a whole set of this in this town, which we slowly made our way through and found. Now these chests were scattered throughout the entire town, but I thankfully managed to find, I think, all the pieces. I did read a note that there was a chest buried in the center of the town, so I dug that up and found an executioner's axe out here as well, which I was pleasantly surprised by. And I then finally made my way to the location of what we were going to think was the Wisp Wyvern. And obviously, because we're far away, it's going to make life a little bit different. Oh, here it is. The Pearl Whisper Wyvern. Whisper Wyvern, not Whisper. Okay. We have not much stamina to combat this thing. Okay, we're dead. Those meteors do a lot of damage. So after my first death, I went straight back into the fight, ready to try and take it on again. Now, I had seen how much damage it had taken, and it wasn't very much, so this was going to be a very long fight. Hence why you'll see all the cutting down throughout the fight, and to help out with that fact, it also summoned in little tiny bugs. Thankfully, I did have my leech ring on, so when they did come in and spawn, I would actually get some of my health back from attacking them, which helped out massively. I also discovered that fireballs did a decent amount of damage to it as well, but obviously I was limited by my mana, so I switched it up between all three attack styles, utilizing my flail, my one-handed sword, as well as my wand. Even though my one-handed sword was broken, it had managed to do some decent damage. Eventually, however, I was able to drop the Wisp Wyvern. Got enough mana? No. Alright, let's try and finish him off with some melee. Got him. He's dead. There goes the Shroud Wyvern. Whew. What has he got for us? Some Shroud cores. Oh, the Wisp Wyvern head. Let's go. Oh, baby. Guard of the North helmet. We got it. Is that the full set? I don't think that is the full set. Chest, gloves, pants. No, we don't have the boots. I mean, it looks fucking badass, but it's actually not too good. I mean, we'll wear it for now. I continued exploring Pikesmead's Reach because I wanted to try and find the boots for the rest of our armor. So we had the full set. I did eventually find this area that I hadn't actually explored, guarded by this dude with the big shield. So I made my way to the top of the tower and I found the North boots. That was the full set of armor that I had completed, so I was pretty happy about that. I explored the tower that the Wisp Wyvern was guarding and I didn't really find much, but I did get a quest to obtain the castle wall block as well, which I wanted to try and find as well. So we had a lot of building supplies going on, and the Carpenter also wanted his masonry tools as well. Now, he did mention that they were located at the Pillars of Creation, so we needed to get there in order to get his tools. Oswald also had some quests for me as well, so I accepted those from him and went on my merry way. Now, I also went ahead and made myself up the medium backpack from the Hunter, and then I got to work on building a new... Alrighty guys, so we've gone ahead and built ourselves a little bit of a storage shed for the town. So pretty much we're going to enable ourselves to store everything in here. So the town is looking pretty good, I'm going to say. These flower fields are getting filled up with flax every time I get the ability to. I also want to build another set of them on this side over here and behind the farmhouse just here as well. I just don't think, yeah, we just need to expand the range of our flame altar a little bit more, and then we're good to go. And then we've still got to build the Carpenter's house, the Hunter's house, and then my house. So we've got a lot of building to do, but we've still got plenty of space around here, which is good to see. Yeah, I just kind of built this up here. I felt like it was in a decent area. Obviously, we don't have all the chests filled out, but we do have plenty of magic chests. And honestly, once I fill this wall out, that should be more than enough magic chests to hold us out till the end of the game. So I'm really happy with how this little looks. Just a little building. It didn't take me too long to build this, couple of days. So I'm happy at how that's all going. We're just going to chuck some torches down, and I'm slowly transferring everything over from the old base into the new base over here. I then wanted to make my way to the Pillars of Creation, so I thought this was the right way. It led into this catacomb area. Turns out this isn't the right way, and I just found myself a warrior helmet in these catacombs. Definitely not the way to the Pillars of Creation, so I felt like a bit of a dum-dum while doing this. I then went ahead and found another bandit camp and decided to investigate that. Thankfully, I was able to escape in time without them managing to kill me. That's always a positive. But I then returned and finished off the rest of these guys as well, as they were going to be pests and I needed to get into their camp. Eventually, I did find the gate to the Pillars of Creation. However, there was a slight problem. It was Deadly Shroud, so I couldn't really get inside of there. So the Blacksmith request mission was in there as well as the masonry tools. However, I didn't realize it was Deadly Shroud, so I walked into it and then realized it was Deadly Shroud. I was going to need to raise the level of my flame once again. I spent some time farming some crops as well as putting in some new skill points, mainly melee orientated. I then went ahead and farmed up a bunch of resources as well, such as clay, copper, and then I went down into the Shroud to deal with some enemies to try and farm some of their Shroud cores that they dropped. Sorry, Shroud spores. I then returned back to Pikesmead's Reach as I was going to try and kill the Wisp Wyvern again. However, I fell into the goddamn lava located right next to the Flame Shrine, which defeated the purpose of me landing at the Flame Shrine. Eventually, I was able to make my way back to my body bag, retrieving all of my stuff and making my way back to the Wisp Wyvern. Now, I had read that apparently if you shoot the Wisp Wyvern while it does its roar and summons the bug, you actually cause it to take increased damage. I only found out about this now, so we went ahead and tested this strategy, and man, I kind of wish I knew about it at the start of the first one, but at the same time, I was kind of glad that we didn't know about it because it made the fight a little bit more difficult and more entertaining in my part anyway. So I was able to kill the Wisp Wyvern with relative ease with this new strategy, so I wasn't too stressed about it, because I was trying to go for more trophies for this guy as well, because we only had the normal trophy and I did want to try and get into the gold trophy for the Wyvern. Eventually I did manage to kill it, however, and I did get a huge chunk of XP from killing it as well as extra loot. Most of the stuff we didn't really need because we already had it. Alrighty, so after upgrading our flame altar, we're now inside the Pillars of Creation, and we should be able to find the masonry tools for our carpenter.
if we can... Oh, there we go. Are we getting anything from these? I don't think so. So we've activated the flame shrine. Let's head through. We need to find the tools. I don't know where the tools are. I'm hoping this might be them over here. In the sanctum. Ooh, this is fancy. We've got some fired bricks. We did just get another level, level 16. Let's go. New quest, finding the masonry tools. Where are they? Okay, so it's a bit further in by the looks of it. We got some potions over here. Got some books. And some random stuff. Let's just take it all apart. Oh, we found some bronze bars and some fossilized bone dust. So we got a bunch of new recipes unlocked at the blacksmith, which is dope. Stone doors as well at the carpenter's. Obviously, we need to find his masonry tools for that to be the case. Oh, damn. Oh, it's a one-handed. Oh, that is terrifying. How strong is it? Level 16. And we got leather. Extraordinary glider at the carpenter, which is cool.
I did have to hit a trigger to open the gate to the next section where we got the herbalist gloves at the alchemist, and then I found the masonry tools at a campsite.
And we're now out in the desert, so I'm trying to figure out where the tower is. I'm guessing that's the tower over there. We found the Vukas, which I don't think we really want to tussle with. Whoa, that is a pitfall trap, and I fell right into it.
Oh, there's a lot of these guys.
Just keep swinging, just keep swinging, just keep swinging. Eggs. What is that thing? Oh, that looks cool. Saber-toothed tiger, let's fight it.
I also discovered some new resources out here in the desert, such as aloe vera, which is going to be great for making up a bunch of stuff that would cure me, essentially. We also got a war banner at the carpenter from this as well, and a bunch of extra armor as well from these resources. It was exciting finding all the new stuff because we also got some bell peppers, and just unlocking all the new recipes makes it really interesting. We also got a level 18 piece of gear as well, and then we stumbled upon this boss by complete accident, accidentally gliding down right into its den, another Volca brawler.
We didn't even kill the bloody first one that we fought. Oh, that did damage. That also did damage. Holy smokes, that did a lot of damage. I mean, we're definitely capable of killing him. I don't know how that hit me, but sure. Oh my god, that acid is killing him. What the That was doing so much damage to... Why is it doing so much damage? What is going on? Okay, I think I found my new favorite spell. Oh shit, come on, kill him before we die. Nice, let's go. That acid bite did so much damage, that's crazy. Volca Brawl ahead. Ooh! Jasmina's Apotheosis. Okay, this has me excited now. Oh, we got Leech on this one as well, and a critical hit enhancement. Oh, that's sick. That's so cool. Oh my god, 3 health regeneration. It's negative 600 health regeneration delay? That's weird. I'm guessing that's the blacksmith smithing tools. Nice. So we got a whole bunch of new recipes. We got a fancy looking chest down here. Oh. Ignited hammer. That looks very cool.
I also cut down the shroud root that was in the area where the smithing tools were located, so we were doing pretty good. This new area had a whole bunch of new stuff for us, which was really good. So we got a bunch of new recipes. We just needed to get the gear for it. Thankfully, when I went back, everyone had a bunch of new quests for me. Mystery solved from Oswald, as well as the mysterious letter as well. So we got all of that handed in as well, getting some extra XP, but that just meant everyone else had more quests for us. But I did place the smithing tools down in Oswald's area as well, so we could utilize that. And we got some new missions from the Alchemist, wanting his cauldron as well. That would unlock, once again, new recipes for us as well. And Scree wanted her tanning station as well.
And now the Carpenter is also after something. Okay, we can now make bronze axes instead of copper, but I don't know how we make bronze. Mace-like club, level 16. Okay, we don't really care too much about that. Mercenary set, guardian set. Alright, cool. New armor. We got a whole bunch of new stuff.
I also then went ahead and upgraded our new weapons that we had obtained, such as Jasmina's Apotheosis. This was going to give us a ton of extra damage, plus it gave us Leech as well, which is really awesome.
We've got the Hollow Halls update now, so we can take a look at this.
But before tackling the Hollow Halls, I wanted to get the Ancient Spire in the Nomad Highlands first.
Alright, we made it to the top. Let's go. Nomad Highland fast travel point is now unlocked. I'll take it. So, I know there's another fast travel point down here somewhere. I want to try and get to that as well. So, that's probably what we'll do. But first off, I want to get the Cauldron for the Alchemist. Oh my god, what have I brought myself into? I'm getting out of here. Nope. I'll see you guys later. Have fun with that. Okay, we found... Oh my god, they're still after us. We found Rattle Bleak. This is where the Cauldron is somewhere. Oh my god, these tigers are not friendly. Can I please get off the fucking lock on? Found the Black Cauldron. Oh my god, what is that? Fell monstrosity. Alright, well, I mean, thankfully it doesn't look too difficult. I say that now, but I'll probably eat my words a little bit later on. I'm just going to keep firing at it with my wand. Why change what works? We do have my big two-handed weapon. That is terrifying to look at, though. We can use everything at our disposal to kill it. I'm not too stressed about it. It's going down pretty easily. And you're dead. I'm guessing this is where the Black Cauldron is. That is terrifying. Fell monstrosity head and the Black Cauldron. So my backpack's full. Wonderful.
After dealing with the Fell Monstrosity, I then go ahead and chop down a Shroud Root. Not before getting killed, however, but I do manage to go back there and find tin ore in this same cave. So I mine it all up and return back to the Carpenter. I also learn the Updraft skill as I want to try and go for the Legendary Glider, and this is going to help us traverse that terrain. I also found the Fanning Ranch, and I was actually really tempted to build here as well at one point. It was just a really cool place, and it was one of the better towns that I had found that had the desert aesthetic to it. But inside of one of the barns, we found a level 21 of these green dual cleaver wielding dudes. And they terrify me. They are so bloody strong. But thankfully, we were able to prevail in the end, and we did kill this guy finally. I also found some saffron while out in the desert, and that was all the rare materials out here, giving me the achievement as well. I also cut down some palm trees, and they gave us palm wood blocks as well at the workbench, and I managed to find some sulfur as well as hitting level 18. So I now wanted to make my way over to the final tower that would allow me fast travel. All I needed to do was glide over to this cliff face and pray that I would make it. With my updraft skill, thankfully, I was able to pull it off, landing on the cliffside, and I could then mine my way up to the top of the tower, where we finally met the Ancient Spire of the Kindle Wastes, opening up a chest throughout it, getting the Gloom Monarch chest plate as well going through the tower, and I eventually made it to the top of the tower, unlocking the final fast travel point. We've got our final tower unlocked now. Alrighty guys, we're now in the Sump Temple down at the bottom here. I figured I'd come down here to try and get the Legendary Glider. I figured it would help us out quite a lot. So we're going to make our way... There's a bunch of skelly boys. Just going to ignore them and run this way. There is a chest there as well. Oh, that dude has a mad looking scythe. There are a lot of skelly boys. We're going to just come through here and ignore them. So these guys were level 30, so I didn't really want to tussle with them too much. However, this guy was blocking our way, so I eventually, after a very long and tedious fight, was able to whittle him down to 0 HP, killing him in the process. Alrighty, and here we go. Boom. Ghost Glider level... Oh, I have to take it first. That would be great. We've just got ourselves the best glider in the game. We'll take that. So I'm going to probably hang around here for a little bit and farm up some of the chests around the Sun Temple, see if we can get some more loot. See if we can get some legendary loot, hopefully. See how we go. Oh, that is nice down there. We'll see how we go. Yeah, we're just going to chill around here for... Oh my god, look at this glider go. This thing is crazy. That was fun. That was cool. That was mad fun. So I then discovered the location of some legendary chests. Now these chests drop legendary gear when you open them, so I set up some spawn points, some fast travel points near them, and started farming them, getting a bunch of different gear and loot in the process of logging out of the server and back in. This did take quite a few days, but I finally hit this awesome weapon, a level 25 Inflamed Sword. Now, I was obviously going to use this over Jasmina's Apotheosis, but I was going to miss Jasmina's Apotheosis. The sword, though, was just so much stronger than the axe, so we just had to use that instead of it. I then spent some time farming these chests for quite a few days, just trying to get a full set of armor or extra weapons. I obviously didn't have a legendary wand. Speaking of, I did manage to get one of those as well. The Ritual Tempest wand, so it was a lightning damage wand, which was really strong. You can see all that extra shock magic damage we were going to get from it. So I was really happy with that. We also got some Paladin armor as well. I don't think we actually got the full set because that would have taken us just so long. But I did get some extra two-handed weapons as well. But no legendary two-handed weapons, which was a bit of a shame. I was also hoping to get a legendary one-handed axe as well.
Mark. Alrighty guys, we are now exploring the new content, the Hollow Halls that is just dropped in this most recent update. So we're going to head out there to the location of it and see what we find. Apparently there's a new NPC out here, which I'm kind of excited to see. Alright, here we go. Coming on the Hallowed Halls. Got a new arrow, bone arrow. I don't think I've seen that. Okay, it does look like it scales to the area, so we're not going to have too many issues getting through. Oh my god, there's a lot of skellies. As I was saying, we shouldn't have too many issues getting through this dungeon. I possibly have spoken too fast because we're getting absolutely domed by all these skelly boys. And the skelly dog. Ectoplasm fragment, that looks new. I don't think we've seen those before. These tables and chairs look pretty damn cool. And we just got a new building fragment, red marble. Alright, let's keep going here, see what we find. We're getting absolutely destroyed by these skellies. They're low level, but my god, they're strong when there's a lot of them. Ooh. We've got the Hollow Halls block. I'm not sure how that looks. Can I place it, actually? I should be able to place some. It does look pretty neat. Oh, I can't build any, really.
Now, even though the enemies in this dungeon were weak, there were tons and tons of them. There were so many of these skelly boys, dogs, and the magicians that we just got overrun by them. Considering how much stronger we were in terms of levels than them, they still managed to overwhelm us quite a few times just with the sheer amount of numbers with them. I would heavily recommend going into this as a melee caster though, as a melee build, because going in as a spellcaster definitely made this really tough to go through. Eventually, however, I was slowly whittling them down, but not before they killed me once again. I did try to switch to my staff to try and blow them up with a fireball, but I just could not get the spell off. There were so many enemies here that I just kept getting interrupted and that I couldn't actually charge the spell up in time to get it off before they overwhelmed me. It was absolutely crazy. Look at the amounts of them. They did it constantly as well. This dungeon also took me about 3 hours to get through as well, so these dungeons aren't for the faint of heart. They take a really long time to get through, but it was worth it because we did get the Hollow Halls block, so some new structures that we could build with, which was pretty cool. But yeah, these guys were just super overwhelming, constantly dying. They're all dead. Let's get our new dude. Alden Crowley the Collector. So he's now free. I have a feeling this might be him. Let's head back to base. We're going to take a look at him to see what's at the end of this. But this is just the first low level one. I can't imagine how much more difficult the higher level ones are going to be. Bone Scourge Mace. That looks fucking sick. This mace is the bane and banisher of all undead creatures. So it actually does 20% extra damage to against the Hollow, which is these skeleton guys. That's really cool. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it's a one-handed. I mean, we're not going to use it because it's super low level, but if we can get into the higher tier ones, then that's definitely something we could use. Alrighty, let's meet our newest member of the crew, who's now going to need a new home as well. Alden Crowley the Collector. I have a feeling this dude is dead. Is he dead or is he just a little bit of a weirdo? Possibly a bit of a weirdo. The Collector at your service? Oh, we can make the crypt stuff with him.
They are some nice looking... Alright, let's just put him in the blacksmith's house for now. Sorry, Oswald, I know this is your area, but we're going to just borrow it for a little bit. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we get from him now. Okay, we got a bunch of new quests from him. The skulls of our enemies. Okay, so now we have access to the Revelwood one, which isn't too far from us, so we could definitely give that a shot, but I think we'll do that at a later point. After completing the first Hollow Halls, I ventured back out into the desert where I came face to face with one of the green cleaver guys. Once again, these guys ridiculously tough to defeat, sometimes even harder than bosses to be completely honest. He did get the last laugh and killed us, however we returned, killed him, grabbed the limestone block, continued looking for the Almanac of Plants and Seedlings, and who would have thought that it was guarded by a Gorgon Matron. So we obviously had to try and take her out in order to get the Almanac. And I tell you what, this game must hate me because we were so close to killing her. So damn close when that ranger in the back managed to stun me and I copped a blow of bile straight to the face. It was quite a journey to get back there. It was a really long way. Thankfully, we did get back there, and this time we were playing it safe. We were just going to whittle her down with our luminous wand and slowly shock her to death. A fitting end if you ask me. However, there was still the archer guy that we had to deal with. However, I just wanted to kill this Gorgon Matron to get the books first. Thankfully, we were able to kill her, and we did receive our Almanac of Plants and Seedlings. I did also cut down a shroud route that we found on the way back to wherever we were going. We were kind of just wandering and exploring, to be honest. But it was overloaded, so I ran away, returned, and finished cutting it down. I also received the regular stone blocks, and I found the turning station, which was once again protected by a Gorgon Matron. I have the best luck. Thankfully, I was able to kill her, but not before she summoned in 2 more wolves, which I also murdered. With that, I was able to then receive the tannery and take that back to the hunter. Now, while I was out here, I did want to get some extra blocks that were located in this mining rift. I didn't know where exactly in the mining rift they were, so I spent a hell of a long time literally going through the entire cave system. It's a huge cave system, only to realize that the blocks were out here the entire time. I then had the struggle of actually trying to get the blocks. It was a journey. Thankfully, I was eventually able to get the castle wall stone block, not before my backpack was full though. And with that, I could head back to my village and complete building the various builds that I wanted to finish before the 100 days was up. Alrighty guys, and we've just hit day 100. I'm ding dong. I spent way too much time building my little village with houses for all my dudes, and I just completely lost track of how quickly we were going through everything. So, let's do a quick walkthrough of our town so you guys can see what we've got going on. I didn't even build a house for myself. All these guys have their own houses. I'm over here living in a dilapidated shack. It's wonderful. So this is the town. Now we have the altar at level 3. Honestly, I don't think we need to go any bigger than what we currently have. The boundaries are all the way out here. We've got plenty of space, to be completely honest with you. I just kind of ran out of time to finish everything that I wanted to do. Hell, we've still got a bunch of, not even a bunch, but we've still got some quests to get some of the tools. Like, we don't even have all the tools yet. We're missing the beehive, we're missing the loom, we're missing the scientific instruments. Because I was really just super hyper focused on building up houses for everyone and having a super nice little township going on. So you guys have seen the farm area. This was going to be lined up with all these boxes. We're going to have some wells here, and then eventually beehives are also going to go under that little bit there. You guys have already seen the farmer's residence. We'll do a quick walkthrough though. You can see there she's got a bed up there. She's got some storage on the side there. And then all her crafting stuff down the bottom here. If we come out, we have farming land here. Now on the right here as well, just here, this was all going to be farming land very similar to that. And we're also going to have some out the back here as well, because there was enough space and we've got plenty of the farm soil. So there's going to be tons of that. I really wanted to sort of make this place look really pretty with all the flowers and stuff like that. I just ran out of time, honestly. I would love to do a 200 days of this, and I would spend the entirety of that just building up this township, to be completely honest with you. And obviously finish the rest of those quests. In here, we've got some storage, so our magic chests, some basic chests on the side there, just our storage shack. Back here, we've got the Carpenter's house. So you can see him there being all cheery.
This is his workstation area, so obviously we'd put more workstations out here inside of his house. We've got a nice campfire, nice fireplace, some table and chairs. We come upstairs, he's got himself his bedroom. You can see there, he's got a toilet at the back here. Well, this was going to be a bathroom. I think I forgot to put all the stuff in. Some storage, some nice seating, some flowers on the edge there. Nice little seating area, nice bed. I really like how the Carpenter's house turned out. So we've got that. You can see on the side here, we've spent quite a bit of time adding some extra details and everything like that to it to make it look really nice and fancy. We come down here, we've got the Hunter's Treehouse. This is probably my least favorite building out of the lot. It's very blocky. I didn't really want it to come out like this. I had plans for it to be a multi-tier story treehouse. Didn't really plan out how I wanted it to, but she's still got a nice place to live. She can scout from below. She's got plenty of windows to see out of to look around her surrounding areas. She's got a table and chairs here, fireplace, all that good stuff. We've got a staircase leading up here. Some more windows out there. A bathroom back here so she can go do a business in peace. And then the bedroom just here. Obviously, we could fit out with some more furniture and everything like that. We also planted some flower soil outside of these windows. So she's got a nice little bit of a visual sort of indicator for herself. Yeah, I didn't really want it looking this blocky. It was kind of unfortunate that it came out looking like this, but alas, it is what it is. So the Blacksmith's house, you guys would have already seen this one. I really like the way this came out too, to be honest. We did break some stuff up here, and I did have plans to add more furniture in here, but obviously, like I mentioned, just ran out of time. I spent so many hours building. All of this was all ruins. You guys probably would have remembered that from seeing it here and there. I had to go ahead and manually demolish all of that. There's a big ass crater underneath here. Just don't even ask. Don't ask. This area just here was going to be my residence, but just ran out of time. I just ran out of time. So over here we've got the Alchemist's house. So nice little front facade, a tower in the back here. If we're coming through the back here, you can see we've also got a path leading up here. This is where the Alchemist is. He's got all his tools and equipment in the back here. So his grinder, mortar and pestle, the alchemy station. This isn't really fitted out with a lot of furniture. I definitely need to add more. We've got a bookcase here, a little side table. We come upstairs. He's got a bed. He's got a side table here, a stool where he can sit and look out the window. Ignore the fact that that doesn't contain any windows. I just ran out of time. Really like how the Alchemist house came out. I think the tower with the castle wall blocks looks really cool. It is kind of empty at the top. I was thinking of adding something. I'm just not too sure what yet. Now, we do have a little secret entrance down here as well. And if we make our way downstairs, we have an underground area. Now, this was going to be both this guy's residence and the Alchemist's. I was going to set up some crop plots here with the glowing mushrooms just to kind of add to that creepy sort of Alchemist vibe. But I thought I'd put this guy down here because nobody likes him and he's a little bit creepy. So I thought it'd be nice and comfortable down here in the dark considering where he came from. With the Hollow Halls update, we just didn't really get too much of a chance to take a look at him. You can see here we've got all this area fleshed out as well for an eventual base area for that guy as well. So yeah. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how our village came out. I would have really liked to beautify it a little bit. Like I had plans to chuck flowers and bushes and all that sort of stuff down the side of houses. Make really nice pathing throughout the village. See how the Carpenter's got like these flowers out the front here? I was hoping to do that for everyone. Just ran out of time. I just ran out of time. But I really have enjoyed this 100 days in Enshrouded. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching it as well. But that is going to conclude the 100 days. Let me know if you want to see 200 days. I'd love to continue fleshing out this village. Hell, I'll probably even do a separate video just fleshing out this village, to be completely honest. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you in the next one.